What is happening, all you good looking fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. Bunch of stuff strung out here. We got a new Bank and Creek bag. Now these are every 2 months, so we got a new one here. I'm going to do an unbagging here, show you what's in it, and take you over to the computer because there's some new lures over at Lurenet I want to show you. I want to get my hands on them too, and they're available. I need to put an order in. But anyway, enough yapping, let's take a look. Okay, let's see what we have in here. Well, first off, what catches my eye is this little dude. Now, I honestly thought they had these some time ago, but these are relatively new. This is the Popping Pad Crasher Junior. Now, I've used these little junior pad crashers. As I'm ripping into this, I think this is also one of their newer colors, the pumpkin seed, which is a cool color here. And you can see it's got the same as the, just the regular Booyah Pad Crasher Pop 'em, but it's just this little tiny size. So I've used the normal ones. I like them. They are a good little finesse frog. You need a little bit softer, like a medium heavy rod to throw these on. Super sharp hooks. They are already turned up just a little bit for you there. I know some people talking about boiling your frog and doing all this. With the pad crashers, they're soft enough. I personally have never done that. The only thing I do is I always take my legs, make them just about the length of the body and cut them off. So that's what I would cut the legs off to, just about like that, snip them off there. So just a couple inches in Debo fingers. Yeah, about 1.5 inches is what I would cut the legs to on something small like that, maybe even just 1 inch. I keep them pretty small. I like to keep the compact profile of it. That way when they come up, they're not getting messed up by this stuff swimming back here. It's just a... Next up, these two go together. Now, y'all have seen me throw this a lot. The regular Booyah Cover and the new Finesse, which I really like. A little bit smaller compact profile, and you can see the weight kind of comes back onto the shank here, which is part of your soft plastic keeper. I might as well bring that out and show you here. So that's your soft plastic keeper there. It's got just the regular lead plastic keeper, and these do come in a 3/8 and a half ounce. This is that kind of, I always call these turtleback blades. It's not the hammered blade, but this kind of turtle shell, turtleback looking. It's kind of your mix between a Colorado and a willow blade. I actually really like these, especially this profile here in this kind of finesse size. Real compact, real small, not big crazy blades up here, flapping. It's just a good compact little spinnerbait. Great for your smaller lakes and ponds where they're not chewing on big, huge forage. These are nice. Speaking of nice, they were nice enough to give you a pack of these. These are the Yum Sonar Minnows. These are the smaller 3-inch version. They've also got the larger versions now, but this dude is perfect as a trailer on the back of this. Thread that up there and try to get that as straight as you can. If you run plastic trailers and you have trouble with your spinnerbait, running to the side, so you're bringing it in and it's laying like this. Some trailers that have too much drag, like a big paddle tail or anything that's got something that's really going to move this, can kick this off kilter. So instead of running straight up and down, the way you want a spinnerbait, it'll kick it to one side or another. So that's why I do like these straight tails like this. Back in the day, we used to throw like the little twin tail deals. I like a fluke or something like this, which is even better than a fluke because the fluke has that, the belly slit here. So this part usually doesn't stay on as well, kind of iffy, and they're, the bigger 5 inches usually what I have on me. I like something small like this where it just sticks out the back of that, gives you a little bit more bulk to it. So in dirtier water, muddier water, that's when I like to run a trailer. Also can give you a little bit more casting distance. So if all you have is a 3/8, a little bit windy out, you can add a plastic like that. It's not going to mess with the, the action of the bait. Just gives you a little bit more weight and kind of bulk to help those fish hone in on it. And you can even do like undercolors. So if you had your Sharpie or Spike It markers, you could color some of this chartreuse or orange. It's not going to be super vibrant because the skirt's going to kind of cover it up. So it gives it kind of this shadowy second effect color look. Okay, well, it is summer, so they did give us some big worms, which are awesome. Some ribbon tail. I love that June bug color. 7.5 inch. Let's take one out. All right, that's what it looks like. That is a good June bug color, that good dark purple. And this one is heavy on the green flake. It's interesting the different companies and the, the different color takes they have. Some of them are more like, the color. They've got less flake. Some like this one have a little bit more flake. Really just depends on what you like, but I like that it's that dark purple color with that green flake. Typical June bug color there. They also gave you some hooks for these. These are the EWG 3/0. Going to be perfect paired with this. And now that I say that, forgot they threw these in here for you too. Now I don't use lead bullet weights any longer, but the good thing is you get more for your money this way. 3/16 you get 10 of these. Do I have a 3/16? I think this is. Now this is actually a 1/4 ounce, so you can see the size difference here between that 3/16. This little 1/4 ounce tungsten worm weight is smaller than that lead one, and this is heavier. heavier by a 1/16 of an ounce, 3/16 versus a quarter. So that's why I like tungsten, a little bit smaller, more compact, also more dense. So when you hit rock and stuff, you can feel more of that like positive ping. But again, bang for your buck, especially, you know, if you're out beating the banks and stuff with a bunch of rocks, you're going to get snagged. You're going to lose stuff. So you get 10 of these in there, enough to keep rigging up, and you've got enough hooks to go with it. Throwing this around wood, grass lines. Again, you can drag it along the edges of rocks. Once you start to get these kind of bullet weights in rocks and stuff, they do kind of wedge up. So yeah, if the fish are in there, I don't know. I'm still fishing it. You got to fish where the fish are at, but you might lose some. And the only hard bait in the bag this time, I know some people have said before that, oh, there's a bunch of hard baits on it, use hard baits. They're kind of switching it up to this one. I do really like that they do a bunch of the custom colors. I don't think this one is, now that I say that. Craw, ditch brown, so it's like a orange to a tan to your dark brown. Good looking craw color. I haven't thrown a Rebel wee craw. This is the middle wee craw. I threw the smaller ones back in the day, but I haven't thrown one of these and I don't know how long. I've still got some of the smaller ones in my old tackle box. Need to drag those out. But I do like that on the Bank and Creek kits, a lot of times they're giving you custom colors that you can't get. You know, you can get the custom run and that's it. It's not something that's always available on the shelf. So I like that they do that and give you different crazy things in the bag. Now, to end it out, very popular, the Aggressively Average Angler guys just had the gentleman from Great Lakes, I forget his name, on to talk about some new products. I'm going to show you those here in a second, just at the end. But these are the last 4 things to come in it. So the Juvie craws, I like to call it the Hoovie craw, 2.5 inch. If you haven't seen these, I've shown them. They are a very cool looking little craw bait, and these aren't Elastec, but it's not your regular plastisol. This plastic holds up pretty dang well. So it's hollow. You take one of these little tube heads. They give you these 1/8 ounce, perfect for bank fishing. You take this and run it in just like you would a tube. So run that up in there. Try to make sure you're in the middle once you get up here, because that's where you're going to break it through. Think I'm decently good there. Hard to do on camera, but there we go. That's what it is. And then you can kind of mix this up. You can take this and leave it open like that. What I've seen some other folks do is take that point and run it up like that, and you can go weedless. I need to fix his little antenna. There we go. Get his antenna out there, and you can rig that weedless, so help you around wood, grass type like that. Otherwise, you can just push it down like that and have that hook point up. So that's the little Hoovie craw, kind of your mix between like a Ned rig, tube, interesting looking little creature there. And then they also give you some round ball heads, and I can think of a number of uses for these. If you're doing the whole forward-facing sonar deal, these little things are perfect for that. Again, 1/8 ounce. It's got the dual kind of conical cone-shaped keeper deal there. They give you these Helgramites, and this is what it looks like rigged up. But you could just as easily put one of these little Yum Sonar minnows on there. That's a perfect size for this. Shake the minnow, bounce that around, but with the Helgramite, that's what it looks like rigged up on there. Now this plastic, I noticed these aren't like super soft, a little bit harder, but as you're bouncing that around, that's gonna stick up, you know, in the rocks, gravel if you're creek fishing, some of the little streams, some of the small lakes and ponds around here. That is just a tiny, tasty looking morsel, and black is such a slept-on color. Clean water, super dirty water. It just makes a silhouette. There's nothing, you know, crazy, flashy about it. It's just literally a silhouette. Could look like a leech, looks like a Helgramite, some sort of little bug crawling around down there as you're bouncing that over the rocks and stuff. As it's just sitting there in the stream, all those little legs are going to be kind of moving. That is a neat little bait. I've got a couple packs and I need to throw them because I haven't. So that's the bag. Let's go take a look at some of the new stuff. So when we go over to the Lurenet site, I'll have this linked below along with my code that lets you save 15% on any of this stuff, including the brand new things that you're seeing now that are in stock over there. Like with this one, their new hover minnow. So this is an interesting one. You know, everybody's on the whole forward-facing sonar, shaking the minnow, mid-strolling, Demiki rig, all the different names for it. And that's exactly what they've done, is release their own. In fact, they've got some new colors like you'll see here. So when you take this thing and flip it over, it's got kind of a, you know, an oblong shape to it. It's not a flat like the Yum Sonar minnow. It's got this concave top to it. So as this minnow is being, you know, shaking it, popping it through the water, it's got a side-to-side darting action. So pretty cool. Going to be, I think, a good one for a lot of those forward-facing sonar guys. Next, we've got some little tiny Great Lakes Finesse matte finesse jigs. These are wire tied. They've got the same ball head that I was showing you in the unboxing, those little round ball heads, just with the skirt on it. So at $6.99, they are a little bit more pricey for a finesse jig, either coming in 1/8 or 3/16 ounce, as you can see there. Number of different colors. They've got like the dual colors, the brown black, the green pumpkin black, but all of them matte, which I like because you don't see the matte colors enough. Same thing here. Great Lakes Finesse Stealth football head. So again, the same thing as you saw with the round one. It's got those two lead conical soft plastic keepers, but in a football head design, which this will be really good for dragging those Helgramites, any sort of little small lures that you want to drag on the bottom. This is great. Goes all the way up to 3 ounce, 4 different sizes there, 1/0 hook until you get up to that 3/8 ounce size. That is a 2/0 hook, and they didn't skimp on the hook. It is the really good Gamakatsu super sharp 604 hook. They are really good jig heads. So if you're looking for a football size or type head, there you go. You've got that for the finesse stuff. You can even drag this on a football head. This can be, you can shake the minnow thing with it, Demiki rig it. You can drop shot this, little Ned rig. The Great Lakes Finesse drop minnow, they already had the 2.75 inch. Now they're coming out with the new larger 3.25 inch size. So 2 sizes of these. It is a really cool lure. I haven't got to fish it much yet. I fished it one day. Wasn't the deal, but it's a good plastic. And they've got some new colors. So Fire Craw, this Gizzard Shad with the purple and pearl belly. They've also got their new Smelt color, which reminds me of the Shiner color that I like to throw, that kind of tannish brown top with the pearlish crystal kind of silver belly. Great bait fish mimicking color. Same for this watermelon pearl, the green top, pearl belly. Excellent way to mimic bait fish around here. Now they've also got some new stuff that's going to be released on Lurenet. They didn't have pictures yet, but if you go over to the Bassmaster site, they've got all the new ICAST lures. I'll leave this link below too so you can see everything. The first thing we're looking at is this Booyah jerkbait. So they call this the Flash Point, and it looks like a good, regular jerkbait profile, 3 hooks, which I like. And they say the big thing about this is the affixed custom blade at the head of the lure provides a subtle bait fish flash that shines like a beacon in forward-facing sonar screens. I don't know how the forward-facing sonar stuff works, if it bounces off plastic versus a metal versus tungsten or lead. Does it have a different return to the viewer? I don't know. I guess we'll see how that thing does. Next up, we've got the head and spit and image, which is interesting because I've got the head and spit and image, the shad. It's like a walking bait. I think I also have a diving image, which was the same thing, but with a little lip on the front of it. Now they've got this spit and image, and I don't know if it's going to say like a plopping bait or something, but essentially it's their version of a whopper plopper, those bladed Chapo style baits. A little late to the party. I mean, we've seen how many of these come out years ago, so releasing theirs a little bit later, but I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see Hedden and Rebel, you're going to see releasing new stuff, which is awesome. These are things that I've had from my childhood. I've still got some of the old Bill Dance style ones of these, so it'll be cool. I'll definitely throw it, kind of a throwback to some of the old lures we used to have with them. Next, we've got another craw, the Rebel Craw and a matte craw series. So again, if you like the matte colors, instead of the, the glossy, real shiny, they're going to have a few colors in this. I haven't thrown the Rebel Craws in quite a while. I used to throw one of the small ones, but with the new stuff coming out, maybe I'll have to pick one up, throw it on a BFS, a little small one, and give it a sling. Okay, these last 3 go together, and these are going to be fun. These I'm excited to try. This little keg head is kind of the basis of this. It's meant to pair with their Live Flex plastics, which is a TPE. It's going to be like an Elastec type bait. But it's this kind of a twist on a football head, a little bit more rounder, like a barrel type deal. And it says it's supposed to sit completely horizontal when you fish it. So you see all that weight's up in the head. So if you were to swim this or drop it under a bobber, it's supposed to keep that bait completely horizontal, sitting sideways in the water, not dropping down nose or tail. Keep it like that. And with the shape of that head, it's going to be great to drag along the bottom like this. This one they're calling the Live Flex Catacrawler. So it looks like a little caterpillar crawling bug type deal, and it comes with one pre-rigged on one of those keg heads, and then you've got extra ones. I don't know how many it comes with, but a cool looking little small 2-inch floating Ned style bait. So again, throwing this on BFS, your light spinning rod, a real finesse presentation for smallmouth, for creeks, small ponds. Real good small looking lure, and like I said, it's going to be that TPE, the Elastec type material. So be interesting to see how those do. I like that one. And last up is the Live Flex Creek Craw, which is, again, another cool little small Ned bait. It's got that, typical crawl looking profile. Same type of plastic it's made out of. You can, it comes rigged up with one of these. You could, use your own Ned rig, drag it along on a, like a Mojo rig, Texas rig at drop shot, a whole bunch of different things, here it says you can do. So it's cool to see them innovating because we haven't seen Rebel Live Plastics or Rebel Plastics for, I don't know how long. I think they used to have some back in the day, but like I said, it's cool to see some of these older brands coming out with stuff. Now, do me a favor and comment below, out of all these new ones, which one is your favorite? I'm excited to try some of these. I get, kind of nerding out when the new lures and stuff come out, but comment below and let me know what you all think. Otherwise, I got to get out of here. Thanks for watching, and until next time.